My name's Nick Langford. I'm a consultant here in Salt Lake City for Gerhart Coal, and today I'm going to be talking about the Cutthroat Slam in Utah. So just a little bit of background about me. I've been working in the past 14 years in heavy civil construction and geotechnical engineering. I have my master's and bachelor's degree from Utah State University, and I love to fish, and that's me at 2 years old, fishing with the stick, and I've been fishing ever since. So in this map right here, I want to show the current waterways of the United States and highlight right here the Great Continental Divide. Inside the divide, we have one distinct region that's really unique here to Utah. It's the Great Basin Range. So you can see here in this color right here, we're in the Great Basin Range. If you look to the east, we're in the Great Basin. The west, we're in the Rocky Mountains. And how this affects the cutthroat trout is 10 million years ago, that is the birthplace of the cutthroat trout. They come from the Great Basins. And over the past 10 million years, they've gone into all the drainages in the western United States through seismic activity and through the flooding as the result of the end of the ice ages. So now if we look here at Utah and try and look at a topographical map, I want to point out three features. First, we have the Winter Mountains that go east to west. We have the Rocky Mountains that take much of our state and go north to south. And then we also have the Raft River Range up here in the top corner of Utah that's just barely outside the Great Basin Range. Now, looking back in Utah's history, was brought up earlier in this conference, Lake Bonneville. So during about 55,000 years ago, Lake Bonneville was a prominent feature here in Utah. That's where our state cutthroat trout comes from, is Lake Bonneville. And you can see from Lake Bonneville, it covers most of the state of Utah. It's about 385 miles long, about 135 miles wide, and about 1,000 feet deep. And what's unique about the lake now is there are three lakes that are currently remnants of the Lake Bonneville. We have Utah Lake here in southern Utah County. We have Sevier Lake. It's kind of hard to see with the screen. I apologize. And we have the Great Salt Lake. Now, I want to talk about the three drainages that are shown on the picture on the left. We have the Great Basin and Range, where all of the water drains into the basin and does not leave and go to the ocean. And then we have, up in the top, we have the Columbia River drainage, where everything will eventually drain into the Columbia River and into the Pacific. And then here in southeastern Utah, we have the Colorado River drainage system that connects to the Green River and eventually flows south into the Gulf of California and Mexico. Now, what's unique about Utah and the three lakes that are left from Lake Bonneville is the two lakes here, Utah Lake and Great Salt Lake, are connected by the Jordan River. And everything south of Utah County flows into Lake Sevier. Everything north of Utah County flows up into the Great Salt Lake, and everything north of about Ogden area flows into the Salt Lake from the south. So I want to point out right here, this river right here, the Bear River. So this river right here, eventually through this slide right here, through basalt flows, was cut off from its original drainage path and flows now into the Utah Lake, or the Great Salt Lake, excuse me. And this is where the Red Rock Pass right here, this is where the dam failed and Lake Bonneville drained. Also, I want to point out right here, Logan, Utah. That's where the first Geo-Congress was held, and where Utah State University is located. Yep. And so, basically, about right here in the middle of the state, where the Uinta Mountains come in, that horizontal feature right here, everything north of here flows into the Great Salt Lake. Everything flows south and then back up into the Great Salt Lake. And because of the salinity of the Great Salt Lake, we have two distinct cutthroat trout now because they could not pass and get into each other's drainages. So this is a Cutthroat Slam. It was an initiative put on by the Utah DNR and Trout Unlimited. It's to fund conservation and promote outdoor exercise and recreation in Utah. It's to go and find the four native species of cutthroat trouts we have here in Utah. We have the Colorado River cutthroat trout, which are located here in the Colorado River drainage and shown in yellow. Up top in the north, in the green, we have the Raft River Range, where you can find the Yellowstone cutthroat trout. And then in the red and the blue, you can find the Bonneville cutthroat trout, which was later in 2013 classified as a separate species in the northern drainage of Great Salt Lake. So that's the blue, the Bear River cutthroat trout. The purple region is an area where you can go and catch either a Bonneville or a Bear River cutthroat trout. And for the purpose of the slam, you can combine either one, but you can't have both your Bear River and your Bonneville cutthroat trout come from the same region. So this, just want to highlight some of these fish that you can catch. This is a Yellowstone or the Colorado River cutthroat trout, and then you find them all over western Utah. Actually, let me go back. Remember Ari Menito's Geo-PIT talk just a couple days ago? Castle Valley's right here. You can literally catch, there's a little yellow strip right here. Colorado River's just outside where Ari is climbing those awesome towers in southern Utah. Next we have the Yellowstone cutthroat trout. This is the hardest trout in Utah to catch because it is the streams that they're located in are only a foot or two wide, and in the summer they're just a mere trickle. So it's really hard to get into these streams, but luckily in Idaho they do get a lot bigger, and it's just across the border. Next we have the Bonneville cutthroat trout. This is also our state fish, and I've been lobbying ever since we got an NHL team here in Utah that they should have named them the Cutthroats after our state fish, and the colors would have been better than blue and black. Next we have my personal favorite, the Bear River cutthroat, which can be found all throughout northern Utah, especially in Cache Valley, where I went to school and really got to fish every day after school, and that was a great experience for me, being able to go from a soils lecture or the soils lab and go right onto the river in Logan.
Go Aggies!
Go Aggies. Yeah, that's all I got. If you do complete the slam, you can win a medallion. So you have to catch all 4 fish and take a picture and send it to the DNR, and they'll give you one of these medallions. You can do it anytime you visit Utah. So if you buy a license for the Cutthroat Slam, it lasts a lifetime. You have an entire lifetime to complete it, and you can complete it as many times as you want. And all this goes to conservation and trout habitat restoration. So we can get back, go back here, maybe, broke it, never mind. But that map that I showed that had all the different colors on it, that's not the historic ranges, that's the current ranges of the trout species. And if we can restore habitat, we can get these ranges back to what they used to look like. And I have a little video, I don't know if it's gonna play, but you can see trout stream here in Utah, and then all of a sudden, in 5 minutes, you got a 2,000-foot sandstone cliff. And you can go find fish in unique areas like this all over Utah, and it's just a highlight of ways to get outside and experience the world around you. Thank you for your time.